When Summits originally came out, Summits were like the competitor. They were like wafers with
Summits?
little peanuts on top.
Are you like a snack food historian?
Yeah, but Summits were great, and Twix just crushed them. But it's like, who wants cookies? They're cookies. They're not
Adam,
candy bars.
Look,
They're
I think
cookie bars.
I need to be the person to tell you that every single person here disagrees with you. I know you're
Not
the
a candy
boss.
bar.
What is the what?
It's a cookie bar.
Emil, I need
It's a
you.
cookie
I just
bar.
please.
Anyway, not a fan.
Oh. Damn it. Hey everyone, I'm Claire. We are in the BA Test Kitchen, and today I'm making gourmet Twix. I like Twix. I think in the over-under, like good candies, bad candies. It's definitely a good candy. And it's been a while since I've had Twix, but I know it's caramel. There's like a cookie and chocolate. Yeah, crunchy cookie, delicious caramel, creamy chocolate, cookie bars. All good things. The thing that I think about most when I think of Twix are like the older commercials where they show the like cascading waves of melted chocolate covering, like oozing down and over the caramel on top of the cookie. I'm very excited, so I get to have my after lunch dessert, which is different than my after dinner dessert. I like to have dessert twice a day.
What about after breakfast?
There's no after breakfast dessert, that's inappropriate. Looks great. Got the little waves down the top. Whatever that pattern is, it's like the little heartbeat on the monitor pattern on the base. Oh yeah, very stretchy caramel. There's the cookie. I'm gonna taste it now. Delicious. Twix is one of the few candies or snack things that tastes exactly the way I remember. Very chewy caramel, very sweet chocolate, as I was expecting, and very crisp, dry, almost dry cookie. Here's all the kinds. I'm gonna start with the egg. Something weird about it. I think the cookie is different and it's not as good. White chocolate, not my favorite. I'm happy to see there's a dark chocolate version. This chocolate looks very, very dark. It's an unpleasantly bitter dark chocolate. Kind of disappointed. Okay, triple chocolate. So this is chocolate caramel and chocolate cookie. There's something wrong with that one. You guys need to taste this. Something went wrong. Someone's gonna lose their job over this. See, look, Dan has to spit it out. Oh, he just Well, more highs and lows than I've ever experienced in the tasting of all the different candy varieties. Given that Chris is a super taster, that might kill him. He might die. Do you want to taste something disgusting?
Yeah.
Really? Wait for it.
I was ready for like fireworks of awfulness.
Was it just the one we tried? I still have the bad aftertaste in my mouth from eating this. Yeah.
Are you getting it from this one?
Yes. That was a useful exercise, if only to confirm that like there is no Twix except for original Twix, in my mind. I only have eyes for this guy. Confidence level is pretty high because I can combine a lot of the experience from previous episodes. So like I think a lot of what I learned in Snickers will apply here, and also some of the things I learned on Almond Joy will help a lot. Chewy caramel is essential, a crisp, sort of dry cookie, something in the shortbread realm. It says creamy chocolate. It doesn't say milk chocolate. I could do what I've done in the past, just do a mixture of milk and dark to kind of get the right balance of sweet and bitter. What? I'm going to temper the chocolate. Yes, I'm going to temper the chocolate. At this point, let's just assume I'll be tempering chocolate. If I can get the cookie in one day, it might be a 2.5 day challenge. So end to end, it is 9.7 centimeters. And it's about 2.3 centimeters wide. And the height is 1.5 centimeters. So I want to try to isolate the cookie from the chocolate and the caramel just to really see what the shape is. This is very interesting what I just found. One, there's this like line of divots down the top of that bar. And then the caramel has like the opposite relief of the divots. And it might be to create an air pocket to make it easier to release from the mold. It also has smooth sides all around, which tells me that it's not a cookie that's made in a slab and then sliced. It's pre-formed into the shape and then baked. It almost seems like there's another flour in here besides wheat flour, like a rice flour or something it's like a tiny bit of grit. It's not very sweet. It basically has no flavor on its own. Can definitely make this part taste better. It's a pretty tight caramel. Almost intolerably sweet on its own. I think there's probably a pretty high proportion of corn syrup in there. It does make me realize just to what extent Twix is greater than the sum of its parts, because not really any one of these things is something that I'd like to eat on its own. Christina Che earlier today told me that Twix is her second favorite candy, second only to Ferrero Rocher. Come on in, Christina.
It's because they have the best commercials. Do you remember the Twix?
Is this going to be about cascading waves of chocolate?
Yes!
Yes.
They go,
Yes.
and then it goes
In
like,
slow motion.
yes.
And it cascades
from someplace out of frame.
from some miraculous chocolate fountain.
Is this
Unbelievably
for
bad.
left-handed people?
No.
Well, why does it say left?
It's part of their marketing. If there's left Twix and right Twix.
Where? It's for the left hand and the right hand.
I don't think that's right.
Yes.
I'm a lefty, you're a righty. Let's try it. This is not left-handed.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
To the left. To the left. To the right. Is it a dance?
You're going the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Molly, it's just eat the Twix.
I love Twix.
I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts?
I think you have to nail the consistency of the caramel because
Yes.
you want the bite and the pull,
Has
and you
to
want
be
to see
that
your teeth marks.
that like firmness and chewiness, but like not too runny, but also not too hard.
Right. It's not like sticking to your teeth.
Right.
And then the consistency of whatever that unknown shortbread cookie
Yes.
thing is.
Yes,
But then
nondescript
you can
cookie.
make that taste delicious.
I know. At this point, they make me say this, but now for my favorite part, reading the ingredients. Milk chocolate, sugar, cocoa butter, chocolate, skim milk, lactose, fat, soy lecithin, PGPR, artificial flavors, enriched wheat flour, parentheses, wheat flour, niacin, iron, thiamine mononitrate, folic acid, sugar, palm oil, corn syrup, skim milk, dextrose, less than 2% salt, cocoa powder, soy lecithin, modified cornstarch, baking soda, artificial flavor. Okay, we'll process that. A whole lot of ingredients in that. So baking soda, I'm sure that that's an ingredient in the cookie that's giving it kind of like lift and aeration in the cookie. Wheat flour, sugar, palm oil, not surprised. So no butter. The ingredient list told me a lot, so research will just sort of be like maybe more focused on, I guess, construction and assembly. The name Twix is a portmanteau derived from twin biscuit sticks. Fascinating. I didn't know that's a really good fun fact.
This chocolate and caramel candy bar is famous for its sweet cookie snap. And in case you were wondering what all those little holes in the cookie dough do,
I was wondering.
One is that it actually helps it release from the molder, and that when we put our first layer.
Didn't I say that? Anna's calling you, Gabby. Oh, Gabby, you don't have to. Gabby, you can be in the video. Okay. I didn't learn a whole lot during the research phase, but that's okay because I think I kind of got everything I needed to know through just tasting and measuring and all that. I'm feeling pretty good actually about this one. Today I want to start on the cookie, which is kind of like the central component. I want to start with a basic shortbread and see where I get with that. I might have to add a little bit of leavening, which is not typical in shortbread. Shortbread is just butter, flour, sugar, and as I remember from reading the Twix ingredients, there's no butter at all in the recipe, so that's a really good place to start because we're already going to improve the flavor quite a bit. I'll do 2 separate recipes, one with baking powder, one without. And I did come across a shortbread recipe that's based on a Michael Ruhlman recipe that uses a little bit of rice flour along with the all-purpose flour, which is interesting because that helps you get a very kind of sandy, crispy texture. So that's an interesting idea. Add my vanilla and then dry ingredients to make the dough. All right, so this is pretty well mixed. Did I measure this recipe right? It just seems very crumbly. Just makes me wonder if I goofed up the flour. But how could I have screwed up such a simple recipe? I'm sure there's a way. I'm going to put this into the fridge and then I'm going to do the exact same thing but add baking powder. And that's because I want to do a side-by-side to see if adding that bit of leavening gives me a better texture in the cookie. So BP for baking powder. That goes into the fridge. So this was that first shortbread, no baking powder. So I'll roll it out to the right thickness and then cut it into bars. This can't be the dough. Did I write the recipe down wrong? I'm getting off to a bad start. I seriously am looking up if I wrote this down wrong because I don't know how this can be right. I did do it wrong.
You did what?
I did do it wrong. Oh, man, it sucks. I would prefer not to tell you what I did wrong, but I left out the extra 6 tablespoons of butter. It did seem so dry. God, something is happening. Is Mercury in retrograde? That's a thing, right?
No, not anymore.
Yeah, it is. No? I think it still is. Is it? Can that? From what I can tell, it's 100% of the time in retrograde.
Is Mercury in retrograde.com? No.
No?
It ended on March 28th.
Oh, that's not helping.
Bumming you out.
Oh, so this test is, it's not pointless, although it's certainly not the test I thought it was. I'm gonna bake it and just see what happens. One good thing is that they gained kind of a smooth exterior, even on the cut sides. They didn't change in terms of dimensions at all, which is good. That's what we want. It's pretty sweet. I wonder if maybe that's a little too much sugar. I do have to think about balance. If I use dark chocolate, and so I get that bitterness and that intensity, and I make a really dark caramel, it actually might provide good balance to have some sugar in the cookie. Surprisingly, it's not that bad, considering I left out a quarter of the butter. I think that maybe cross-section wise, they're a little big. Yeah, I gotta make them like half as tall. Here's my plan. I'm going to add butter back into the existing dough that I made with baking powder. So 3 tablespoons. Then I'm going to remake this original dough again, also adding back 3 tablespoons. So I can do a side-by-side of 2 identical doughs with a little more butter, 1 with baking powder. The baking powder did a little bit of spreading, but then so did the version without baking powder. But I think that actually had more to do with dough temperature. This dough was more room temp when it went in. You know, they're definitely more golden than the cookie inside the Twix. I'm deciding not to care about that because I think that's really important for flavor. I love shortbread. They're good. Okay, so that's without. This is with. Not only is there not a huge difference, I don't think that the things that the baking powder are bringing are necessarily adding a lot or helping. Texture-wise, it's pretty good. Like, this could be a tiny bit drier. So I'm trying to isolate it so you can try. I want to know your thoughts. Oh. Yeah, here, okay, now you just can't look when you eat it.
Okay. That's obviously yours.
Yeah, it was.
Never mind, don't do that to anyone else. It's like not even out. The essence of butter is so intense and pure in the shortbread. And you have permission to move on.
Okay, good. I feel good about it. I think it works.
I feel great. I mean, I just ate more.
Yeah, cool. Right? That was like weirdly not that hard. I'm feeling like today's maybe not going to be the day that I finish, in which case...
You thought you were going to do this in one day?
This is the second day. I do want to just do one quick experiment. This is what I want to try, is basically shaving down the sides using a fine grater like this, just to see if I can make it straight. It's working pretty well. Kind of surprised. Straight, a little wavy. That looks really good. So now at least I have kind of a backup plan if they're not baking with really straight sides. I don't have to keep doing this part, it's just kind of fun and satisfying. I'll talk to you about the caramel while I'm doing this. I did a recipe a while back that appeared in the magazine for a salted caramel chocolate tart. The caramel had to be soft enough that you could cut it, but that it also was firm enough that it wouldn't just like ooze out of the tart right away. It's just sugar, corn syrup, a little water to it, and then butter and cream. All right, so this is that caramel. It's still warm, but you can see it's now firm enough where I can kind of roll it around and work with it, so that's good. I'm gonna taste it. It's like 1,000 times better than the caramel in the Twix. My best bet is to actually pour the caramel out into a mold and then let it set, and I can cut it into bar shapes to match the cookie. The length of the cookie is almost exactly the width of the pan, so that means I can just cut across. I have these 3 pans of caramel. They're already setting up, but I want to get them into the fridge so they set really quickly. And then I think I'm going to move into the final thing I'll probably be able to get done today, which is trying to marry the caramel and the cookies. Do you say caramel?
What?
Do you say what do you say? People say all different things.
Well, Claire, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't say anything correctly.
Oh, Brad, that's not true.
Let me think. Okay. Oh, Claire, what do you got there? Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel, I said.
Caramel.
Or caramel. I guess it depends.
Is there a right way? I don't think there's one right way.
I like your attitude, Claire.
Right. There's many ways to say it.
Oh, looking
There's that
good.
layer. All right, so that'll unmold. Let me grab the cookies.
Can I smell it?
Yeah. Sorry we didn't save you any.
Can I have a bite?
Yeah. It's not dry enough. I'm actually going to make them again tomorrow and really dehydrate them.
I love shortbread. I'm afraid it's a little too shortbready. And oh my God, Claire, you have to have the holes.
No, but I'm not doing the holes. Why do I have to have...
When
Literally nobody knows that that's there.
More like everyone knows who eats Twix.
That's not a thing. No one has said that.
Really?
Truth be told, I did forget about the little divots in the cookie before today. Apparently not.
Great work today, Claire.
Thanks. Actually, Brady, you want to grab me that torch? This stuff is hard to cut because it's so sticky. Don't get too close to your face. So to cut through the caramel, which is really sticky and a little bit firm, I'm going to heat up my knife. No, I can't turn it on. Thank you.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
I know, I never understood that, to be honest.
What do you mean? It's like the best thing ever. Righty tighty.
I don't want this on the camera.
Spin it right.
Oh, wait. No, I don't even want to explain why it doesn't make sense to me. Because
I need to know.
But it's in a circle. There is no right and left. It's just clockwise and counterclockwise.
No, Claire.
So which way is right?
Right, Claire. This way.
But right.
It's because you're left.
But what if the arrow's on the bottom and then turning it right is the other direction?
So like if you're under a car and it's like this, you have to imagine.
Right, exactly.
Like
it doesn't make sense to use left and right when it's a circle.
Claire, it works perfectly. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
All right, well, thanks for finally explaining that. I never understood it. Lefty loosey. The knife is stuck. It's not good. All right. The caramel's very firm, which I wanted. I'm worried that maybe it's a bit too firm, like stick in your teeth. I want it to fall a little bit over top of the cookie, so I'm going to try to gently heat it. Hope I don't regret this part. And hopefully in kind of oozing, it also sticks and adheres a little bit to the cookie. Wait a minute. I got it. I forgot again. I'm like really happy with that. It looks pretty good, don't you think? Caramel's a little tiny bit thick, but I'm not that worried if there's an extra millimeter of caramel in terms of thickness.
Ooh, wow. Wow.
So far you're at 8 inches.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
9? 10?
Oh my God. How much longer?
It's going weirdly well.
It's going really well?
Yeah. Like, I'm afraid. Oh.
Yeah, well, you haven't done the chocolate yet.
True.
You know how that goes.
So I'm going to put the caramel back in the pan because I'm happy with this. It was a good, useful test. Then I'm going to go back to the cookies and use the grater to keep filing away those edges, make them into nice bars. So this might be a time, like most episodes of Gourmet Makes, where we get out the dehydrator and we get the cookies baked to the point we want to bake them and then let them totally dry out. I've never dehydrated a cookie. I don't quite know what it would do to the texture. I imagine it's just what I think it would do. Just give it that super crisp snap. Right now I can just sit here and peacefully, it's weirdly soothing to shave off the sides of the cookie. Very pleasing to me, having all these nice straight-edged uniform cookies. I want to get them in the dehydrator, so I'm going to go grab that and set it up. So it makes me look like the Incredible Hulk because it looks big. I think today went really well. I got actually a little further along than I thought I would, and I think the caramel and cookies are in a good place. Hopefully in the morning I can focus on that assembly part, and I think it would be ambitious, but the goal could be enrobing them in the afternoon, letting them set, and then finishing up tomorrow in a day. I don't know how it's gonna go. Dan looks so skeptical. It's going great. What could go wrong? I don't think there's a curse of the third day. That's something other people talk about, but that's the idea that I come in on day 3 feeling like all I have to do is wrap it up, maybe a couple of finishing flourishes, and then disaster strikes and I have to start over. First things first, I want to look at the shortbreads that have been dehydrating on very low temp all night. I love how shaving off the sides looks. They just look so smooth and regular. There we go. Left Twix and right Twix. All right, I think that's looking like I'm in a good place with the size of the cookie. I think it's the right amount of dry. It crumbles nicely. Like it turns into really pleasant, buttery little crumbs, which I think is important when everything's put together. I think the place to start today is to just grab my second dough and roll out some more bars and start baking them. And then I have a lot of cookies to work with for when I'm assembling.
That's usually not what I do with the microblade.
I love this part. It's my favorite part of the show.
Wait, you're like trimming the biscuit stuff?
Yeah.
Looks like you're really having fun.
I'm having a really good time.
Yeah.
So I haven't checked on these yet. Okay, what I'm thinking about doing is slicing crosswise to get strips of caramel the right width and length for the cookies. I think what I'll do is make just like a little paper covering, like a little sleeve for each bar of caramel. And I want to fit it back into the pan just like this. So having that little lip of paper in between each strip of caramel will prevent them from fusing back together while they're in the pan. And I just have to make 19 more of these to fill the 2 loaf pans. So there's actually 11 in each for the 2 pans. So let's look at the cookies. All right, I'm kind of excited. It's time to fuse our caramel and cookies. There was that weird layer of chocolate in between the cookie and the caramel, which I'm kind of skipping because I think I can get the caramel to stick to the cookie all on its own. So my plan is this: take the torch, soften the top layer of caramel. Oh, damn it. Well, I caught the parchment paper on fire and the caramel is not even a little bit warm. All right, torch was a bad idea. Oh, it's still on. There we go. I'm gonna try to pivot to using a heat gun. It's good, it's working. It's definitely softening the surface. Then apply the cookie upside down onto the caramel and press gently just to get them to adhere. All right, that seems really good. I feel like the cookie is really on there.
Do you find this aesthetically pleasing?
Yes, I've never had a better time doing Gourmet Makes. It's so clean and everything's fitting. Oh, just nothing or Gourmet Makes ever works out this well. So it looks pretty great. I'm gonna put this into a fridge so that the caramel hardens and firms up really well. I'm gonna move on to chocolate phase. Yeah, we're gonna temper the chocolate. And so we're setting up our immersion circulator because I am gonna try to do it sous vide. So chocolate tempering for like the 100,000th time on this show is where you melt chocolate and bring it down and then back up to certain temperatures so that you get a chocolate, once it cools, that has kind of a snap and a shine. Tempered chocolate is good because when you pick it up, it won't immediately start to melt into your fingers and it's just sort of like sturdier and makes a better coating. I feel totally indifferent about chocolate tempering at this point. I don't really care. I know I have to do it. I might as well get it over with. Is this the 4th time I tried to temper chocolate on this show? 4th or 5th? I don't remember. 3rd. We did it with Snickers. We did it with Almond Joy, which was a disaster. It's not tempered because it's still liquid. Duh. I have no idea what went wrong. I did everything it said. It's kind of getting harder, not easier. One thing that was a good learning thing from last time was using the vacuum sealer and the plastic tubing to create sort of like makeshift pastry bag. So what I want to do is make 2 different bags of chocolate. One is going to be a bigger bag, and that's what I'll use to coat the Twix across the tops. And one will be a slightly smaller bag just for putting chocolate along the bottoms. All right, that looks great. So then here's a triangle. So once it's all melted, I'll be able to use it like a pastry bag this way. I'm going to get this into the water to start melting. And then this is that larger bag of chocolate. Oh, shit. Damn it.
What's wrong, Claire?
Forgot to put another bag. I knew I was forgetting something. Actually, I didn't know I was forgetting something. All right, forgot it. Last time I put another bag in it. Damn it. Hold on. No, I have to care because it really works so much better if there's a bag over it. It really helps prevent any water from getting into the chocolate as it's coming out of the bag, which those two things don't really mix well. There we go. So I have to wait for all of these to come up to 115. They'll be fully melted. And I want to actually unmold my Twix filling. So mission accomplished because the caramel has adhered nicely to the cookie. Right now I'm just holding onto the caramel. It's not separating. On some of them, the caramel is a little bit longer than the cookie itself, so I'm going to also trim that. I don't want there to be too much caramel overall relative to the cookie.
It's like food science meets arts and crafts.
This show is 75% crafting, but that's why I like it. So now all I want to do before I get this back into the fridge to chill is use the heat gun to just soften those caramel edges a little bit so they're not quite so right angle. They look so good. Back into the fridge, so really set up again.
What are you doing?
Just massaging the chocolate to make sure that I don't feel any bits of chocolate that haven't melted yet and are still hard. All right, I think this is good. So I'm gonna take this down to 84. I'm going to sit here just massaging the chocolate to make sure that everything inside the bag hits this temp. I'm gonna turn it back up now to 90. I wanna agitate constantly. I will pull out the smaller bag, dry it off, take it out of the outer bag, and I'm gonna do the temper test on a little offset spatula, just to make sure. It looks pretty good. It's not so much that it's shiny, it's that there's like a satin finish. I'm not sure that I really did it. I feel hopeful. I'm coating the bottoms. So here's my plan. Basically, one by one, a stripe of chocolate along the bottom, and then
Press it so it spreads.
Press it, yes. Dylan, you want to pull out an actual Twix and we can look at it?
The bottom is like maybe a quarter of the thickness of the sides.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Really
so I can go
thin.
pretty thin.
Really thin, yeah.
All right, that's good. So I'll come back in about 10 minutes and double check. See what they look like on the bottom. What I kind of like about using the Silpat is the Silpat has a bit of like a pattern, which is cool because I think it kind of recalls a little bit the pattern on the bottom of the Twix. Now I'm going to work one by one and just use a little paring knife to trim off any excess chocolate. So I'm going to get these back into the fridge to chill for just a few minutes before I start to enrobe. Maybe I should do freezer, and then they'll really cool down. Let me do freezer. After just a couple minutes in the freezer, I think they're definitely cold enough, and I think we are ready to enrobe. I'm trying to work quickly. My main concern right now is that I'm using a lot of the chocolate, and then I'm not going to have a lot left for the second tray. The first ones look really good, but it's definitely setting up quickly on such cold candies. Damn. Maybe I should never have frozen them. Where'd the offset spatula go? Now, the problem is the other ones have set up much too much to get any texture in it.
Can you explain like the whole situation?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Come on.
I hate chocolate ones. I'm not doing a chocolate one anymore.
I have one.
So annoying. This is literally the last step. Here.
It's a little unclear what's happening right now.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no.
It's unclear because I'm not saying anything. Just give me a second to process. Why did I do so many at once? Some of them look okay, but I think basically the problems were the following. The chocolate set up super quickly.
How'd the temper go, Claire?
Right.
Sorry, bad timing.
Like, you gotta go away and come back.
All right. All right.
I love you, Brad. I can't talk to you right now. I wanted it to like set up slowly enough that I could go back in with an offset spatula and make a little pattern across the top, but set up almost immediately. I should have done like 2 at a time. And now I'm really worried because I think the layer is so thick. At least I know I tempered the chocolate. These were the last 2 I did, so they were the slowest to set. I was trying to go for something similar to that on all of them, and it didn't really work. Brad, now I'm ready because now I need your sympathy.
I'm not ready. So you seem a little pissed off.
I'm not happy. Very unhappy.
You guys are ruining a great person, okay?
Yeah. The chocolate's not fully set.
Good
What
cut, Brad.
just happened, though?
Well, it snapped through the caramel.
Oh.
Too buttery there.
Brad, where are you going?
I'm gonna wash my hands.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just walking away from my misery.
It's a delicious treat. It's a delicious candy. It's not a Twix.
But
it don't taste like a Twix. I think you're very close. It could just be the amount of chocolate.
you were like, you're far off, you've made something different, and then you told me I'm close?
I didn't say you were far off.
Do you think if I put a heat gun and melted it?
I think you're gonna make it. It's worth a shot on one. I think you're gonna make it. I think it's gonna be hard to control.
Yeah. All right, so that worked seemingly really well. I want to transfer this one off because I love the way that looks, and I wanted to get more heat from the gun pointed on other bars, so I'm going to try to remove it and get it onto this parchment. Oh my God. Oh, I started laughing. That was bad.
Where were you emotionally 10 minutes ago?
10 minutes ago, I could not talk, and I was going to throw something at the director. Now I feel a little better. This process is actually kind of fun. Thank God for heat guns. We couldn't do the show without it. I want to get these in the fridge before anything else happens to them, so they can really finish setting. At least they look neat, uniform. This was more of a first pass, I think, for the final. So, you know, it's not that bad. It's not quite where I want it to be. Definitely is a pull. I guess it was going too well. I'm over it, but I still have 10 more that are uncovered. And I can coat again tomorrow in some tempered chocolate, and hopefully those are the best ones yet, and I can avoid some of these issues. I'll take a look at the ones I did yesterday just to kind of see how they ended up looking and how that chocolate looks. Chocolate isn't tempered because it was tempered, and then in order to thin it out, I rewarmed it, and that rewarming broke the temper.
You got your patented, slightly holographic.
My patented fat bloom.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
we
the
don't
chocolate.
call it that.
Right,
This is
right,
brandy. You
right.
call it the Saffitz sheen.
It's brilliant.
And everyone is like, we don't know how she got that iridescent glow.
Well, if this doesn't work out, that's what I'll be doing at the end of this episode, is saying that I did it on purpose.
Yeah, with the patented Saffitz sheen. Ding. But
Okay.
I am curious, and I'm sure you've covered this, if you do you get an ability to detach your caramel from your cookie?
Damn it, Carla, because
Sorry.
that was not part of it. And then yesterday, Brad was like, if it doesn't have the divots on the top, then I don't want
They're on
it.
the bottom too, Claire.
If I was told about the caramel nibbling, then I would have put a layer of chocolate in between the cookie and the caramel, which I
Clearly
skipped.
they've done.
Which they've done, and I skipped that.
The little holes?
Oops. Today, I have the second half of the bars, the cookie with the caramel on top, that has been in the fridge, and I'm going to do everything again. At least the tempering seemed to go well. I want the bars to be cold, but they're going to be fridge cold, not freezer cold. I think I'm going to create lots of smaller bags of chocolate so that I can go 2 at a time and coat them carefully, and then I'm not worried about the chocolate hardening too quickly. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a temper test. All right, I think it's tempered. I think it's fine. That's okay. What I'm doing differently is I'm going to focus more one by one, and I'm also going to use the offset, and I'm going to work more on coverage everywhere, one by one. Oh no, it's setting up so fast. All right, I'm not going to do any texture on this one because I think it's still a little bit cold. Let me try with another one. I have to work even more quickly than I thought. Brad, this part's not easy.
No, I bet. Nothing about this is easy, Claire.
Nope. What went wrong is it's just setting up so fast now. I have to immediately go in with the offset to wipe off excess, and maybe then do the little crosshatch and then do the taps. And I think that'll give you what I'm looking for. Overall, I think I did the best that I could under the circumstances. I feel good about the sous vide chocolate tempering method, finally. I feel good about the shape and overall dimensions of everything. I think it's, it's not identical, but it's very, very close to the Twix, to the original. And I'm glad that I made a really nice shortbread, a good caramel, and well-tempered dark chocolate. So I think all the components are functioning the way they should and serving a purpose. They could look worse.
It could look a lot worse, Claire.
There we go. That's what I'm going for. At room
Is this
temp.
finished? Are you done?
Fini.
Get the knife. We got to cut one open.
Wait, don't you want to try the pull? Ooh. Do you want to try eating, let's do what Carla was saying. You want to try eating the caramel off the top?
Why? There's no dots on the cookies.
Wait, look.
Oh, nice job.
It came off.
All right, separation passed.
All right.
It melts in my hands, though, Claire.
The original.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
When you bite into it, not like, oh my God, you mimic the Twix.
Right.
But I guess that's not the show, right?
Depends on the episode.
You Claired it. I think you've Claired a Twixie.
A Twix.
Take two? A Twixie? When did I say Twixie?
Uh-huh.
You made a Twixie.
Thanks. I love it. Okay.
Whoa, boy! That is entertainment, Claire.
Well, at least I can make some caramel.
Wow. This is so much better. Yeah.
Yes. No one said that yet.
The caramel tastes
It really
better.
is.
Brad thought it was
chocolate.
too buttery. I disagreed.
No.
I know.
No.
I know. I mean, that was
Who's that
nonsense.
guy know?
Exactly.
Ooh, that's very nice. Very nice, Claire.
I think that the most successful part of this was the caramel, which I weirdly kind of only did once.
Wow. I think the chocolate is just clearly superior.
Oh, I thought you were going to say well-tempered. But yes, thank you. My only criticism of these is that I think there could be more cookie, actually.
I feel like I disagree because
Oh,
I feel that
interesting.
because you packed so much more flavor into that much less cookie, it's the perfect balance.
Ooh, okay. I love that. Thank you.
Don't be
I
too
appreciate
hard on yourself,
that.
Claire.
All right,
National
thank you.
treasure. I'm going to take that.
Okay, cool. This wasn't so much the making Twix episode as it was the chocolate tempering episode. I'm going from being terrible to approaching maybe halfway decent. So there's the moment of despair where I realize something failed or didn't work, and I know I have to do it again, and then I get super frustrated and irritated. But coming back, repeating it, it always turns out better. So that's the lesson in all of these. Here's how you make gourmet Twix. To make the cookie, in the bowl of a stand mixer fitted with a paddle, beat 2 sticks plus 3 tablespoons room temperature unsalted butter and 3/4 cups granulated sugar until smooth and combined. Add 2.5 cups all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup white rice flour, and 1.5 teaspoons kosher salt. Beat on low just until combined. Wrap dough in plastic and chill until cold. Roll out chilled shortbread dough to a scant 1 centimeter thickness and cut into bars 1.8 centimeters wide and 9 centimeters long, and bake at 325 until pale and crisp all over. Let cool completely. Use a fine rasp grater to shave off any irregular edges and create smooth, even sides. Place the cookies in a dehydrator and let dry for about 30 minutes. To make the caramel, combine 1.5 cups sugar, 2 tablespoons corn syrup, 1/8 teaspoon cream of tartar, and 1/3 cup water in a small saucepan and stir over medium heat to dissolve sugar. Bring to a boil and cook, washing down sides with a pastry brush until you have a dark amber caramel. Remove from heat and stir in 6 tablespoons unsalted butter, 1/3 cup heavy cream, and 1 teaspoon kosher salt. Line 3 standard loaf pans with parchment paper and grease. Pour caramel into a pan to a depth of about 0.4 centimeters and chill until caramel is set. Remove caramel from pans and cut crosswise into bars about 1.3 centimeters wide. Place each cookie over top of a strip of caramel and use a heat gun to gently warm the caramel so it softens and slumps slightly over cookie. Chill while you temper the chocolate. Coat the bottoms of the cookies in a thin layer of chocolate and place on top of the Silpat-lined baking sheet. Chill to set chocolate, then trim any excess chocolate from around sides of cookies. Pipe temper chocolate over top of chilled cookie and caramel, then quickly use an offset spatula to texture the top of the bar. Chill until set.
Show's like type 2 fun, Claire.
What's type 2 fun?
When it starts off like, oh, this sucks, this is hard, but then afterwards it's like a good story. You know, it's like you remember it.
What do you call something that's not fun in the moment and not fun later?
That's called, that just sucks.
That just sucks. Some of them just suck. I'm trying to think of actual fun that I've had on this show. Nothing's coming to mind.